Hey, what's going on, guys? The Langbanger. I have a new profile, and I wanted to go over counter fairies. So, there was a new structure deck that came out not too long ago. I think it was like a month back or something like that. But I decided to pick up the cards because, I mean, honestly, like, it's a really neat deck. It's pretty old school, and I just remember, while I was growing up, like, Bountiful Artemis, the deck, get Bountiful, set a bunch of counter traps, and just piss your opponent off. I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but now the deck has evolved to some degree. I don't really know how competitive this deck can be. I mean, maybe you guys can take this list, make some tweaks, and maybe get a top somewhere with it. But I'm really happy that it got more support. So, and also this deck is just really, really cheap. I honestly just went on TCG Player, picked up all the singles from the structure deck, and I spent like $7. I mean, you can't beat that. So going into the monsters, you have 3 Bountiful Artemis, Heart and Soul of this deck, 3 Guiding Ariande. So with this, you don't have to pay any life points, or you don't need to discard for counter trap cards. So crazy. Put this in your scale, and basically everything in your deck's free. Good stuff. You have 2 Minerva Scholar. So this is a newer card. So basically you grab a counter trap with a, well, after you play a counter trap, then you can get a counter trap from your graveyard with a different name than the one that you just played and add it to your hand. So you kind of just have some little looping going on. You have 1 power Angel Valkyria. So with this, once you negate a card, then you can add a light fairy monster from your deck to your hand. So this is really cool. You don't need Sanctuary in the Sky on the field to activate this, so that's kind of cool. I'm using a low monster count, so even though you do want to get the Bountiful ASAP, you do have other ways to do so. I'm sure you guys already know what I'm going to show you here shortly, but if you don't, then you're going to see. 1 Meltiel Sage of the Sky. So the life point gain's actually kind of neat, but then with Sanctuary on the board, you get to destroy a card your opponent controls when a counter trap is activated. So that's pretty crazy. This is my personal kind of spice, old school, but Vandalgan, the Dark Dragon Lord. So after you negate a card your opponent controls with a counter trap, here's the 3 things you can do. If you negated a spell, you inflict 1500 damage to your opponent. That's pretty crazy. Trap, select, and destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Or effect monster, select 1 monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So the effect monster, that may not happen as much because typically you don't want your guys to die. But like all 3 of those are good, and you get to just drop this on the board. So it's a nice big body. So these are the monsters. Onto the spells. 3 Sanctum of Parshath. So this is a continuous spell, and it acts as Sanctuary in the Sky on the field. And then set spell and traps cannot be targeted or be destroyed by card effects. And your fairy monsters gain 300 attack and defense. And then once per turn, you can target a total of 3 fairy monsters and or counter traps with different names in your graveyard. Place them on the top of your deck in any order. So, once you get things rolling along, you can just continuously see the same cards over and over if you want. So if you want to go that route, but just the fact that we got an upgrade in Sanctuary in the Sky, so something that does more effects, so that's really good stuff. Here's the big card, 3 Ties of the Brethren. So besides Vandalgan, all your guys are level 4 light fairy, so basically just draw one of them, play Ties, get to go into 2 more monsters, and then hopefully you get to set a bunch of back rows, and then hopefully you have a Sanctuary, and then you should just be winning because you'll be getting a lot of advantage and a lot of negating. You have 2 Duality. You can bump this to 3 if you really want, but totally up to you. I just kind of felt pot and Ties kind of clashed a little bit. 2 Sanctuary in the Sky itself. So really, I don't really even care about the effects so much. I mean, like, it's neat, but, the other Sanctuary is just better. Sadly, you do have to use both the original Sanctuary in the Sky and the new one because basically a lot of your cards are shut off if you don't have Sanctuary. So like you need to get to that ASAP. So like it would have been nice if the new one was a field spell. So they kind of screwed up on that, because in that way you could have used terraforming to get to it, but you know, you could still use terraforming to get to this, but I mean, no one's really going to be doing that. But so I'm using 5 Sanctuary in the sky. I really don't like doing that, but like you have to use them just for your traps to be good. And then you have Raigeki, Book of Moon, and Monster Reborn. So nothing crazy there. And now onto the traps. Solemn Judgment. Still amazed that this card came back. 3 Rebirth of Parshath. I'll show you what this card does. When a spell or trap card or a monster effect is activated, reveal a counter trap in your hand, then discard 1 card and pay 1,000 life points, negate the activation, and if you do, shuffle that card into the deck. So really crazy stuff, and if you have Guiding Ariande on the board, then you are not going to have to do anything. You just need to reveal a counter trap, and then you play this for free. So that's pretty crazy stuff. So just tons of negation. 3 Solemn Strike. So this becomes free with Ariande on the board, so that's a must. Solemn Warning. 3 Ultimate Providence. Again, you don't need to discard, so just crazy, more negation for anything. And then you have 3 Divine Punishment. So you need to have Sanctuary on the board to be able to play this, and just more negation. So this is what I'm running with. I was kind of thinking of using like some sort of Mirror Force or something like that just to keep my dudes on the board. So if you guys want to incorporate that yourself, by all means, go ahead and do so. It's just with this sort of deck, like, again, you need to run a lot of Sanctuaries, and then you need to use a lot of counter traps, because that's, you know, basically your win condition. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a good day. Peace.